The missing ingredient of success is mindset. You know, all of us we get caught up in all of the methods. And there are a lot of different strategies and methods that you can learn that makes selling and marketing so much easier. To create that money machine, if you will, where large amounts of people are giving you large amounts of money on a regular basis and it all just comes flowing to you, millions and millions and millions of dollars. There's a lot of different methods. We teach those methods. They are very, very, very important. But in putting together the curriculum for our Stay Home and Sell membership website, we have all these different strategies that we teach, strategies that have made us millions and millions and millions of dollars. And yet, I just realized in going over all of this and putting this together that we forgot the one ingredient, the one thing that really makes all the difference, and that is mindset. Now, I realize that a lot of people don't want to hear that. You know, just tell me what to do, show me what to do, give me the shortcut secrets and strategies. And there are plenty of shortcut secrets and strategies. Tons of them. Most salespeople are out there just struggling. Most entrepreneurs are out there not making nearly enough money. There's all kinds of things you can do to build automated systems and processes that bring large amounts of money, bring large amounts of money to you. Bring large amounts of people who then turn around and give you large amounts of money on a regular basis. So that's what everybody wants to learn. That's the sexy part. That's the romantic part. That's what people think that those are the shortcuts, and they're right. They are. And yet what drives it all is mindset. You know, no matter how sophisticated your marketing systems are, and no matter how well they work, you're still going to go through peaks and valleys. You're still going to go through hard times. It's inevitable. You're going to have good days and bad days. Their mindset is so absolutely important. So I'm going to give you a little secret right now. Came from a book called $1 Million Habits. It's an old book. Might still be in print. Robert J. Ringer is the author. I bet you there's other books called $1 Million Habits. Such a great title. Robert J. Ringer wrote that book back in the early 1990s. And in that book, he talked about he had one chapter on the importance of an attitude and his methods for developing an attitude. And I have made this my mantra. I've tried to practice it for, 30 years now. And it simply goes like this. Having a good attitude is not just, trying to be up all the time. In fact, it's quite opposite of that. It starts with what Ringer, in another one of his books, calls achieving a positive result through a negative premise. I'll say it again. Achieving a positive result through a negative premise. So, the key to developing a great attitude is first and foremost expecting problems. You see problems in a different light. You see them as an ongoing it's a necessary part of success. It's a necessary part of life. Business is accelerated life. In business, you get more problems, not less problems. See, that's one of the reasons why so many people fail in business, is because they think it's going to just lead to all these amazing things. And it can and it will if you stay with it and you get the skills and you develop all of this. But man, in the beginning, until you develop all of those skills and abilities, and even then when you do, you're still going to run into hard times. The mindset is so important. So the first step is just accept problem. You look at problems differently than most people. One of the best analogies that I can think of as it relates to that are these ultra marathon runners. These are people these aren't marathon runners. These are people that are doing like 50 and 100 mile races through some of the most treacherous environments. It's extreme sports. And they live in a constant state of pain, basically. Sometimes they'll cross the finish line bleeding, and sometimes they'll just be crawling across the finish line. Most of them don't even make it on the big races. The ones that are most grueling, a large percentage of them don't even cross the finish line at all. And but the way that they look at pain, the way that the meaning that they attach to pain, is so much different than somebody who's not an extreme athlete. There's great purpose in their pain. They learn to live with it. And I think the most successful people just learn to live with problems. Problems aren't something that they run from. In fact, they get a lot of energy. They feed off of the energy of problems. See, that's one of the things Ringer says in another one of his books. He talks about this in even more depth. His book, Action, where he says problems are life-giving because they spur you into action, and life is movement, so the more problems you have, the more you can be spurred into action. How's that for a different take on what a problem is? You embrace problems, you accept them, they're a part of business. In fact, the more money you want to make, the more problems you're going to have, and you just accept that. You don't try to run from it, don't try to hide from it, don't minimize, justify, rationalize all your problems. Face them square, head on, and instead of, and I can do this with the audio on the printed text, I can't, you won't understand this if you're reading the printed text, but instead of like, oh shit, you're going, oh shit. So, pardon my language here, but it's like, but people that have this bulletproof attitude that I'm talking about, they embrace problems. It's like, hey man, let's solve some new problems. What's the problem today? Instead of like, oh my God, another problem, they go, oh my God, let's solve this thing. So, problems are just solutions in disguise, so to say. It's, every problem contains the seed of its own solution, and so you just get this idea that problems are an integral, ongoing, even necessary part of life and business, and you embrace it. You don't try to run from it. You deal with the problem. And the second step is this. See, a lot of people are trying to set their life up so they have no problems. They just want a smooth, easy life. Just tiptoeing right to the grave, so to say. There's a great quote. It says, most people tiptoe through life so they can make it safely to death. Think about that now. Theodore Roosevelt said that. Most people tiptoe through life so they can make it safely to death. Oh, how's that for a quote? Most people don't want problems. They try to set their life up so they have less problems, and then ironically enough, some of those people have more problems than the rest of us. I mean, that's the irony there. But, wanting a smooth, easy, pain-free life often leads to being lethargic, overweight, out of shape, sitting in front of the TV, stuffing your mouth with potato chips and other junk food. And never succeeding at any kind of a high level, never developing your skills and abilities. So anyway, the second step is, and there's only 3 of them, by the way. There's only 3 of them. The second step is you look for the good within the problem. Now, you can, if you're of any age, this is one of the benefits of getting older now. Because as you get older, you can reflect. I can go back and look at major problems that I was going through 35 years ago when I was actually suicidal. When I just felt like life wasn't worth living, I was going to kill myself. Now I look back at those situations and I go, thank God for this, thank God for that, thank God for this, thank God for that. Because so many things that I thought I wanted, I realized that what I've got now, because I stayed in the game, I kept moving forward, are so much better than those things that I was lamenting about and depressed about and thinking that my life was over or wasn't worth living or whatever. That's what happens with age. As long as you keep moving forward, making the best of all of your situations, then you can go back easily and you can reflect and you can look back at problems 2, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and you can say, well, it was bad, but here's the good that came out of it. Now, the secret is you have to shorten that gap up. So you don't have years in this to develop your ability to have a bulletproof attitude. You don't wait years. You don't wait. You try to look for the good right now. While you're going through the problem, while you've got that massive energy that comes from that, oh my God, another problem. You got all this stress and all that kind of stuff. You look for the good. And so you ask yourself questions. What's good about this? And immediately you're going to say nothing. There's nothing good about this at all. This sucks. This is terrible. Whatever. But then you just keep working with yourself. Keep questioning. What could be good about it? What good could come out of it? In a perfect world, what good could come out of this? Or what's interesting about this? What's funny about this? I had this guy that worked for me for, well, he first worked with my wife when she ran our company. Anyway, he embezzled a bunch of money, and it was a traumatic situation, and I was all upset. I was just so upset over this whole situation when I found out about it. And then, but in the midst of all of that, I said, what's good about this? Well, I don't have to deal with this guy anymore. I mean, he's out of here. He's out of my life forever. He's somebody else's problem. I started thinking about how miserable of a human being he is. He is. See, I was going to say he was. How miserable of a human being he is, and I started changing my outlook. And that's why you look for the good. You look for the good. You look for the interesting. You try to look for anything to get you out of that funk. That funk that you get into when you get all depressed and you get immobilized and life just, again, I've been there. I've ride that emotional roller coaster, and I've been, to the depths of despair, so to say, and you need to get out of that by trying to focus on something good in the middle of the bad. You know it's going to come down the road anyway. Look for it now. And then the third thing is massive action. Just go into massive action mode. Focus on something good and just move, 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 move. Some of the most productive times of my life have been also the worst times of my life. Some of the times when I've gone through I was going through some real problems. I was dealing with a lot of stuff, but I was also moving forward in a positive way, trying to control what I could control. Massive action. You test 10 different things. 9 of them fail, 1 of them succeeds, you roll out with that one. That's massive action. Massive action is you just try a lot of different things, move in a lot of different directions. But I realize it can be unfocused at times. I realize it can create its own little set of problems. But I also know that you have to test a lot of things, try a lot of things, move in a lot of different directions. Sometimes to see what the market is going to, especially with business now. We're talking about making money here. You got to move in a lot of different directions, test a lot of different things, try a lot of different things before you really sort of figure things out ultimately, and you let the market tell you what's going to work the best, from a marketing perspective. So, look, I have gone way, way, way over. I want to keep these videos down to 10 minutes or preferably 7 minutes, but I think this is the missing ingredient of success. Here I was developing all of the curriculum for the Stay Home and Sell website, and it's got all these different marketing and strategies and all these different things we've done to generate tens of millions of dollars, and then I just realized, holy crap, I forgot mindset. I forgot the most important thing, which is, anyway, I hope something I've said here has made all the difference. When you study the lives of the people who succeed at the highest level, you'll see that they went through a whole lot more crap than most people. They had more problems than most people. They dealt with more pain, more adversity, more suffering, more setbacks. I know that that's not what you want to hear. I know it's not. But all you have to do is read enough biographies. They certainly were at least unconsciously practicing some of what I'm talking about here. They fed off of all of this, and they continued to move forward. I hope that I hope that this won't be the missing ingredient of your success here. I hope you'll get your attitude straight about this, and so expect problems, look for the best, go into massive action mode. Thank you for watching this or listening to this audio track. If you're not one of my clients, you want to know more about who I am, click on the link below. And God bless you. Thank you. Bye for now.